Hello and welcome to the CaterSource and the Special Event Studio Series. This is where we preview some great highlights to come at this year's conference in Austin. I'm Laura Schwartz of Laura Schwartz Live, and I am thrilled to be your opening keynote on February 14th. Now, I'm also thrilled to be attending this conference that I've attended so many years before, and that's because it's everything. It's every pillar of this conference that's productive and powerful. The educational sessions, the networking, the expo hall with the exhibitors, the competitions, and each other. And who can forget the showcasing events? It is unbelievable. And one of my favorites is always the Gala Awards. This year it's happening on Thursday night. And that's where outstanding leaders of our great industry are honored, of which we can all learn from. And today, I am so excited to have with me the recipient of the Michael Roman Lifetime Achievement Award. She is the founder and often referred to as the OG Mama of Culinary Crafts. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mary Crafts. Mary, welcome.
Thank you, Laura, and so happy to be with you today. Such an honor.
Well, it is an honor for myself. It's an honor for everyone viewing out there. You are a legend, not just at CaterSource and in the catering industry, but beyond. And this year, you are recognized for just that with the esteemed Michael Roman Lifetime Achievement Award. Mary, what was that call like?
Well, it was actually an email, and having been retired for 5 years, I sold the company. I still stop in, but I really don't have a lot to do in the catering world. And when I was reading this email, I literally, and like even now, feel like I'm going to start crying. You mean people still remember me? I'm not forgotten? And it was so touching to be remembered by CaterSource and the years that I spent there learning and teaching myself there. And it's a true honor.
Well, Mary, you know, you may be getting a Lifetime Achievement Award, but I know you're not done yet, and we'll talk about that. But your business spanned over 40 years. And within that 40 years, like you said, you attended CaterSource. You taught at CaterSource. You really saw how the fabric of such a conference could help your industry, your business particularly, and everyone that you affect around you. And I know that you didn't just inherit a catering company and begin. Can you just tell us just a bit about your evolution? Because it is remarkable and written about in Meetingsnet magazine right now, which is just a fascinating read. But what was it like about 45 years ago for you?
Well, I had two small children. I didn't want to work full time where I couldn't have them with me. And so I thought, okay, well, what can I do and start on my own? Okay, I sold Avon. And then I began selling cookies and bread door to door with them in a little red wagon. And one night, literally, I had a dream of how to start this company with no money. And when I say no money, I really mean no money. And so I saw how to do it, and I never gave up on that dream, ever. And here we are 40 years later. The kids purchased it 5 years ago from me, and it is bigger and larger than ever, 28 times best of state, International Caterer of the Year from the International Caterers Association. But you know, people often ask me, Mary, when you started with your little red wagon, did you ever dream that this is what would happen? And I always say the same thing, and the same thing is absolutely. Well, if you don't dream it, you can't achieve it.
And I love that quote, which is on your website. You use it in your book that we'll talk about in a moment. It really is inspiring. And Mary, you're leaving just such an incredible legacy with the company and your children, and looking ahead as well. You know, something that I think is always exciting at CaterSource, the special event, is how many hands-on demonstrations there are, the education, the showcasing events, the networking. What are some of the takeaways that maybe changed or evolved your company because of attending the conference?
Well, that was one thing I always loved about Michael Roman. was that he knew about the little caterer and what it was like to be small and scared to death to attend a conference with all these big wig caterers. And he had classes that would teach us from point A to point B to point C. I remember the first time I went to a Michael Papura class where he talked about teaching how we could cook on site with sterno in a crest core. And I just thought, I think that's nuts, but we're going to try it. I went home, I told my chef about it. He goes, there's no way you can get that Cresco hot enough to cook something. And I went, well, we're just going to try it. The first night we got it so hot, we melted the sides of the Cresco in the middle of the City County building. But along the way, there were always people in the catering world, connections that we made with CaterSource that gave us people we could call and talk to. Yeah. It was a network of knowledge without talking to your competitor. And so it became this wealth of community. And then it became more than just going for knowledge. It became going for fun. It was like seeing my best friends when I would go to CaterSource. You just walk up and down the halls, whoa, hi, whoa, you know. And you couldn't wait to be there.
Well, I can't imagine what those halls are going to be like now that you're back after 5 years walking through them in Austin. Mary, one of the things I really appreciate about you is how approachable you are. And I know so many people are going to be excited to see you, to hug you, high five you, congratulate you, and really, really honor you. But Mary, I think part of it, if I can assess for you, and on behalf of a lot of people that know you out there, your authenticity is something that you seem to have carried through with you from those days selling Avon door to door to selling the company at the right time for you, and then also continuing to stay involved and to inspire others. That authenticity is really something I know that you also speak about today, Mary.
I do, and it is one of the biggest lessons I've ever learned in my life. I didn't know it when I was little. I didn't know it when I was building this company. I didn't know it until I was probably about 50. So I've only known that and claimed it for about 20 years of my life, but this is the key. And that is that the moment you can step into vulnerability and be willing to show who you truly are, those things that we are so afraid we're going to be rejected for are the very things that people embrace us and love us for. And I give a safe place to everyone to say, hey, this is how it was with me, and this is how it is now, and there's a safe place for you to be the same with me. And so people open up and come to me and share with me, and I hope I have a lot of caterers come up and say, oh, Mary, I remember when you were in the trenches, and I am there too. And I'm like, girl, I'm still in the trenches.
That mindset is so incredible. And Mary, to think about what you continue to do, you've got the podcast, Unbounded, the book is remarkable. Share with us, I mean, everybody's going to see you right there and then in Austin. What about after that? Tell us about all of your great endeavors now, because you're still giving back.
Well, I am only 70, and I plan to live to be 105. So
excellent.
I've got 25 more years to be doing something, and it's not going to be just playing golf. So I will have my book for sale at the bookstore at CaterSource if you'd like to buy it there. I think it's a very short read, but a very profound read, as I share with you the secrets of unbinding yourself from the fears that have always held us bound. And if you don't think you have fears, this book is definitely for you, because it gives you a huge wake-up call. I do my podcast weekly. I do speak locally and nationally. And now my turn is in the philanthropic world and helping others and lifting them. I went to Kenya and worked there this last year. I went to Mexico. I work a lot with women organizations that are dealing with domestic violence, childhood sexual abuse, sex trafficking, because I see them now. I see them as me, and I am them. And if we could see each other as one, every single problem in this world would be solved.
Wow, Mary, Mary, this is exactly why you've been chosen on the great honor of your work and your giving back, that you are accepting the Lifetime Achievement Award and named for Michael Roman. It was so neat hearing you speak about him and how he cared about that little caterer like you back in the day and the larger in the industries alike. May I just ask you as we close out here, just on a personal note, what it means to be a part of his legacy?
I don't think there's anybody else in the catering industry who has a greater legacy than Michael Roman. And I can still see him up on stage, coming out with that microphone, just being as warm and engaging as I hope I can be. And to be part of that enormous legacy is a huge honor for me, and one I don't take lightly.
Well, Mary, thank you. Thank you for spending this time with all of us. We cannot wait to see you at CaterSource, the special event in Austin. Love that you're doing the book signing, Unbounded. It's going to be fantastic. And really, Mary, just on behalf of everyone watching, on the behalf of anyone that's ever been involved, what you do, whether people know your name on paper or not, they've had a Mary Crafts effect. You have really reverberated through this industry, and we cannot thank you enough. And congratulations again.
Thank you so much, Laura. I'll look forward to meeting you face to face and give you one of those great big Mary hugs.
I can't wait. Thanks again, Mary. I mean, what energy. And thank you, all of you, for joining us today. Now, if you still need to register for CaterSource and the special event, you can. Just use the QR code right there in the corner. Head on over and register today. I'm Laura Schwartz, and on behalf of CaterSource and the special event, we cannot wait to see you in Austin. So get registered and come on down. Meet Mary, meet myself. We're all going to be there. See you in Austin.